Hi there, I'm Katie and welcome to the show. Today I'm joined by Becky James, who's going to show us this beautiful Christmas envelope book. And the key techniques we're going to be focusing on are, of course, making the books, creating the envelopes that go inside, as well as some wonderful decorating techniques. So what are we using and what's first?
Right, well the first thing is this is actually made with the Victorian Christmas range.
And this is lovely, isn't it?
It's really opulent, very traditional. And then the other thing that's is sort of the main part of this, which is the envelope pockets that we're going to make to go in it, is actually this envelope die that we've now got.
So the first thing we were going to do was just run this through, weren't we? Just to see, to show you how.
Yes.
Do you want to do that first?
Yeah, let's do that first, and
Okay.
then we can sort of get round to putting the whole thing
Move
together.
the express in. I'm doing it a bit backwards. There we go. So just to show you, that's then the main envelope,
That
isn't
is
it?
And then you can see on this
see
side, you can see all the score lines, and that just makes it really easy for you to put construct the envelope and put it all
So
together.
you literally just...
That's it. And I've made 2 panels already, which I've decorated.
Okay.
So these are going to be my front and back covers to my book. I've actually made them from craft card because craft card is quite sturdy, and then I've covered them.
Okay.
I've done the 2 insides the same, and the outside and
Oh, that's a lovely pattern, isn't it? That's
is.
beautiful.
Yeah, they're really beautiful designs. And again, these papers are in the Ultimate
that's
Decoupage
good.
pack as well. So these, of course, you could make toppers out of too, but I really liked that for the front cover. So we've got those, and I've already, and again, the sizes for this will be on the instructions, but I've already cut a piece of burgundy card. And this has to be probably one of my favourite embossing folders. This is the Delicate Flourishes large A4 embossing folders.
Brilliant.
It's also available in an A6 size as well.
Ah, that's handy.
We've got the 2 sizes. And what I've done is I've already embossed it. And it's beautiful because this one really picks up the colour when you ink
Doesn't it?
Yeah. So what I want to do first is I'm just going to edge along one of my sides. Now, I haven't edged both sides, but if you want to, there's nothing to stop you doing it. And I'm going to use this large scalloped border punch. I love this design.
That.
It's really pretty. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'll put my card in, and I make sure my card is equidistant either side, and then I know it's roughly
the same
centre.
amount.
Yeah, and then we're going to punch the first one, and that comes out with this lovely design here.
That's nice, isn't it?
Now, I'll just hold this up so you can see, but these are your guides, and this is what you do. What you do is you move your your last punched shape and line it up, and then you punch again, and that's how you get your, your perfectly matched border. So I'm just going to go along once. If you can see, you just match the holes up.
Can we just tilt them forward a little bit?
If you can just see so that it matches up.
Okay.
There we go. It's a little bit difficult to hold that, do that at the same time. Let's just get that in place, and then you just punch, and you just move along, keep going in one direction. Just add a nice layer of glue dots, and I'm going to take the front cover and just line it up with where it's scored. And again, as I said earlier on, all the sizes for all these pieces and where they're scored and that sort of thing will be online. So we've got our centre there, and what I want to do next is, now I'm going to use some washi tape because I want to make this look nice and neat when we open it all up. And I'm actually going to use the pattern craft tape here to stick the envelopes in later. So what I want to do is make sure there's a seamless sort of feel to it, so that bits aren't sticking out and you think, oh, that just sticks out and it looks a bit untidy. What I'm going to do is, because pattern craft tape is repositionable, I'm going to put some glue dots down, and that will help to keep it down. Because in this case, I don't want it to sort of come back up. I'm not using it like a masking tape or something like that. So just down my spine, which is where it's going to go, and I'm going to put the first one either side of the spine as well. And just put the glue dots there, and then we can just start to cover this up. And I've chosen this. This is actually the Madame Perrault pattern craft tape collection, and I've chosen it because the designs work perfectly with the range.
It's got that Victorian feel about it, hasn't it?
It has, and the colours are lovely as well. Any one of them really would have gone beautifully. Right, so as you can see, I can just now quickly trim that back, and it's nice and tidy on either side.
Yeah, that looks great.
So I'm going to pop that to one side, but as you can see now, we've got the main part of our book.
That looks great. It looks perfect.
Yeah, so there we go.
Beautiful.
So we can put that to one side. Right then, now, I've already, as you can see, I have inked nicely with my chocolate ink. So we've already blended some of the inks
It looks
round.
like sort of like an old-fashioned book, doesn't it?
It
almost?
does. It's really lovely. And again, this design is actually very similar to the pattern craft tape. So it really all feeds together nicely. It works together.
And actually inked on the inside of the envelope as well.
I have done, and I'll show you the reason why I've done that in a minute too. It's the little finishing touches really. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm just using my glue dots. Double-sided tape is fine. If you've got the roller tapes, they're fine as well. And this is the liner, and I'm basically just putting some around all the edges. Now, I have put some here along where the score is as well, because that will make sure that it sits nicely without popping back out when I stick it into my envelope. Oh, let's pop that just to one side, because I'm really not going to need that much now. Right, now then, what I do when I'm doing this is line it up against the line where the envelope lid comes down, and then line it up centrally there, and just nicely flatten that out. And as you can see, it lines up nicely. So you've got, it really reminds me of sort of, well, when I was younger, Basildon Bond envelopes always had a nice sort of lining to them or something like that. And what's going to happen is when I fold this up, you're still going to see this part. You don't see the inside, but you're still going to see this part. So, of course, I've got that sort of aged look to it, that really...
Because you don't want one bit sort of standing out sort of stark white, do you, if you've done some beautiful distressing on the rest of it.
So that's why I've done that to start off with.
That makes sense.
Right, now putting this together, so simple. Just a couple of bits of glue on either side. So on these two sides here, don't glue here, because otherwise you won't be able to get whatever's going in there into there. And then all I'm doing is popping my address label on the front. So I've got two here that are loose, and I've already got some that are stuck together, because otherwise we'd be here for a while if I was sticking all five together. And what we're going to do is along the non-opening edge of the envelope, I'm just going to put, and I'll pick this up in a second so you can see it. I'm going to put it so that the pattern craft tape is half on the envelope and half off the envelope.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my next envelope that wants to be joined into the design. Now, what you need to think of is what way round is it going to go when you open it. So I want a front onto a back of an envelope.
Okay, yeah.
So put my front bit down there, and then I'm just going to line that up against the pattern craft tape, and that's basically it. That's going to stick those together.
Okay.
So it's really, really simple to construct them. Right, now to fit this into the centre of the book, and this is where it'll become evident why I've done what I have done with the pattern craft tape in the centre. I'm going to do exactly the same, but you want to make sure that the first envelope is at the front, and you've got everything sort of matching. Yes, that's going to open up correctly. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing here. A bit of pattern craft tape along the front. And again, with it slightly overhanging. And now what I'm going to do, just fold that over and pop that along the front folding part of the spine.
Oh, I see. So you're just lining them up in the middle there.
That's it. Now, if you look at that, where I've joined that, it looks seamless.
Yes.
And that's why I've done it the way I've done it.
Because otherwise it would just be sort of sticking out a little bit, wouldn't it?
And it would look untidy. Now, also, the other thing, we're going to do the same at the back. The other nice thing about this is if you suddenly decide that you actually want to attach another one, all you've got to do is use the same technique for attaching one at the front or one at the back. So it could be expanded. It's almost like an expandable personal organiser or something like that. Now, what I've done from the one that I've made is I've actually cut up some pieces. Now, you'll only see them when you open it up, but I've cut up some pieces of craft card from the craft 12 by 12 inch craft basics, which are lined, and now I can write all my notes on there, and then I can pop them in, and perhaps if I want to put any little tickets or stuff in there, I can put them in
receipts, just in case. You never know, do you?
I've got, really, what I've done is I've tried to pick things that I might think, you know, would work nicely with a Victorian theme. So things like the bronze, coloured gems. I particularly like, actually let's find them, these little 2mm ones, because they are perfect for little gem flourishes. But I've also used some red ones just to highlight the berries on the little topiary there. So I've decorated with some of those. I've used a little bit, because I love this colour ribbon, and this is part of the Little Venice Cake Company ribbon. So I've used some of that to make a nice design down the centre where my spine is. And going back again to the Madame Perrault design products, I've got one of the little metal charms here, and I've just put one of the faces from the papers. This is actually scraps of papers, and I've just covered them. I've got these, which I just adore.
Oh, they're really
good. These are the lovely little berries, and I've lined them up here and sort of put them together so that you've got a nice little bunch of berries. And the holly that's round it is actually the part of the decoupage of another design, and I've actually built it up so that it becomes like a 3D sort of holly branch. My little 25 charm here, that's one of the buttons from the bronze Create Christmas embellishment packs, which I've just put a topper on. And then there's just a few bits from the Bellissima range which I've used, which are the lovely sort of charms. I do love these. It's
really lovely.
And if I can just point out here, this is actually the girl here who is one of the decoupage designs. But this holly border has actually been made by me taking the next layer of the holly and just moving it along, so you get the
really
whole
clever,
border.
because it looks like that's the design that's provided.
Yeah. But it's up to you then, you see, it's up to you what you use. You can have, I've got a pocket here for my mum and my dad, and I'll add one for my husband and my godchildren, whatever else. But you can make it exactly for who you want it to be. It doesn't have to be for Christmas gifts.
No,
it can
not
be
at all.
For anything.
Yeah, this technique you can use, you know, for all sorts of things.
That's it.
If you've enjoyed Becky's project, why not leave us a comment to let us know that you enjoyed it, and perhaps let us know what other things you might like to see us to feature on in the studio. We'd really love to hear what you think. As I said, you can find all the details of Becky's projects online at docrafts.com, and if you'd like to keep up to date with what's going on at docrafts and see some product sneak peeks and so on, why not sign up to follow our Facebook page? The details are on screen now. Until next time, happy crafting.